What's up, Banana Bunch? Another episode of the Jungle Gyms podcast is upon us. Welcome back, or welcome for the first time if you're new and just jumping in. This week is a fun one, so it's a good one to jump in on. We're kicking this week off with a fun segment I like to call What Brings You In, where I meet our customers and then bring them into the studio. Then, I'm going to be sampling a new product in store and roll that into our kickoff for Lunar New Year with my coworkers Moni and Lucia from China and Vietnam, respectively. You're going to laugh and you're going to learn. The best part of the show, right? Obviously. Well, it certainly isn't this part, the part where I ask you all to write us a nice little review on your podcast platform of choice. Currently now being accepted by Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You see, downloading the show and reviewing it is a really easy way to spread the word about what I'm building here for you all. And you know what? Actually, this is a fun extra one. I'm going to just throw this in there. If you're really feeling up to it and you really enjoy what you're hearing, right now, one of our local publications, Cincinnati City Beat magazine, is doing their Best of Cincinnati Awards. So that means you can vote for the Jungle Gyms podcast as best local podcast at vote.citybeat.com. It's pretty cool, right? I actually also personally got nominated for a bunch of stuff like Best Local Actor, Comedian, Filmmaker, a bunch of other cool stuff. So feel free to hit vote on anything you see me nominated for as well, as you've got to vote for 20 things to make it count, apparently. Their rules, not mine. Just if you see Mark, just click yes or click on my name. That's the move. Okay, don't let me bury the lead. Let's dive right in. You know, everyone, one of my favorite things to do in the store is meet all of the customers. So today I did just that. Tell everyone your name.
My name's Ed.
Hi, Ed. Welcome to Jungle Gyms. Are you a local or do you come from somewhere fun?
I guess you could, if you call Indiana fun, you know? It can be, I guess. So.
Yeah, it depends on what part and what you're feeling like doing. That's cool. Well, thanks for coming in. This, as part of my What Brings You In segment, I like to ask people, what brings you in? So, Ed, what brings you in today?
Well, I've been listening to your show for a little while, and I heard that segment you did on international coffee, and eventually I got tired of Starbucks and Dunkin', so I'm like, well, maybe I'll go in and see what they got. So I was looking at different kinds of coffee, and I got one from Germany and I think another from Indonesia. So
cool. So you're making the rounds. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, Starbucks don't have that.
Yeah, no, not at all. Or they'll pretend to. Probably they're like, this is our finest blend from I don't know somewhere, but it's like all the beans came from the same location. No. I'm not trying to hate on Starbucks. It does have a role in my life. Although you mentioned Dunkin', and typically if I'm going chain coffee, that's my move too. So America, you know, I joke sometimes they allege that it runs on Dunkin', but they really run on podcast reviews. So having a verbal review like this is fun. So no, dude, thank you so much for coming in. This is so fun. I laugh all the time during these because I'm just like, oh wow, people are listening to the show. And then I'm like, hello employers, people are listening to the show and driving to buy the stuff we talk about. Well, again, Ed, I appreciate your time. I've been wanting to do this for a little bit, and I know we talked a bit off air, but I thought it might be fun. So I'm working on content. On February 1st of this year is the Lunar New Year, which is celebrated by Asian cultures. And you'll hear some more you listen to the show, so you'll learn all about it soon. Actually, I did a really fun interview with a few of our international employees this week. But in honor of that, you know, while I had them in, they were talking about a few of the Asian bakeries here in town. And one of them is one called the Queen's Bakery, and they're located here in the Cincinnati area. And we carry their stuff. So what I thought might be fun is if we sampled something together and we could just describe it to the audience if you're into that.
Sounds good.
Now, before we do this, why don't you tell the audience what you do for a living?
I'm a lawyer.
So in that case, Ed, I think now's a good time for me to do that whole thing where, Ed, do you agree that you're tasting this of your own volition and you will not hold Jungle Gyms responsible for anything that adverse that potentially could even happen to you? I'm trying to cover all the legalese, and maybe you could even instruct me on how to not do that. But
well, I swear I was not offered any sexual favors that I was going to accept.
All right, it's weird now. All right, well, okay, so Ed, today what we're going to try, this is from the Queen's Bakery. So those of you listening, this is in our, it's in the Asian section. It's very close to, it's like on one of the end caps near, I believe it's the Japan aisle, very close to where the Vietnamese produce is. And today we're going to try a sweet red bean paste bread. Now, I'll take some pictures so you all can see online. It kind of looks like a little... It's like a cross between a croissant and a hot dog bun. I feel like that's an accurate description, right?
Oh, certainly, yeah.
And it's like curved and so I like red bean. It's a non-traditional flavor, so that's why I was hoping. Look, on this show, as you know, I'm going to keep saying that until I have somebody come in that doesn't listen. But I try to expose people to new cultures and new things, and I it's sort of a jungle thing. You can hear the plastic crinkling. Hopefully, not too bad. It's sort of a jungle thing to have people try something that's out of their wheelhouse. We want to invite you in to try new flavors, new experiences. So, Ed, why don't you take a bite of that with me here? Let's review. Go for it. I'll probably cut our chewing out. It's actually a chewing ASMR show now.
Well, to be honest, at first glance, it looks like bacon in here, but it tastes. It definitely has a very sweet taste to it. I mean, it says red bean paste on this package here, so I'm like, that's a pretty accurate description, I feel like.
Yeah, so they use these red beans, typically called adzuki beans. I think I saw there was some taro in there too, and I think that might be helping a little of the sweetness. So taro is, if I'm not mistaken, and someone will email me if I'm wrong, but it's a root, and it has a somewhat vanilla-y flavor to me at least. It's really sweet. You know what I'm surprised by? So generally speaking, non-U.S. snacks like these are always going for a second bite, so it's good, right?
Can't talk, eating.
No, traditionally speaking, non-U.S. sweets are not very sweet, but this one has this is a little closer to, I think, what we expect in a pastry like this.
I feel like this would pair well with coffee, definitely.
I feel like we should have brewed a pot of whatever you had. Well, it might have been my treat to be nice, but I like it. You know what? The bun is really soft, and it's also a little sweet too, but I really get that kind of like creamy, buttery flavor.
Definitely, yeah. Damn.
I like it. So then I'll ask you this, Ed, as somebody you haven't tried red bean before, right? This is the first. Okay, cool, good. Would you try it again? If you saw it again, would you give it another shot?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, that's cool, awesome. That's amazing. And all right, Ed. Well, now you have a few more seconds. You want to shout anybody out that you love while you're here?
Well, other than you, no.
Do you have any secret talents I should be asking about?
No.
None that are safe for podcasts?
Yes, exactly.
Ed, I really appreciate your time. Thanks for doing this with me.
Oh, no problem.
Fun.
My pleasure.
I hope you enjoy. And if anything bad happens, call Queen's Bakery. I'm kidding. Don't do that. That was fun. And you know what was even cooler is that Ed actually followed up with me over the weekend and left a voicemail that I can play on the show. And guess what? Actually, if you all can do the same thing. My number here is country code 1-513-674-6855. Or you know what? If you don't want to talk out loud with me, I get it. You can also just send me an email to podcast@junglegyms.com. So Ed, what'd you think?
Hi, Mark. This is Ed from Indiana. We spoke on your show a couple days ago. I just wanted to follow up and let you know that coffee I got at your store was awesome. I look forward to coming back and getting some more coffee. And if I can just give you a note for improvement on your show, it's to have more caffeine-based segments. So just FYI. And by the way, yes, you should have Banana Bunch merchandise. Thanks, man. Bye.
Thanks again for your time, Ed, and I really appreciate you leaving me a voicemail, too. I'm really glad you're enjoying the show. Now, I figured I'd take this time to set up a clip I recorded a couple weeks ago because I love the taste test segment and the sweet music my buddy Danny Poland created for our little theme song here. But maybe more importantly, because this item was suggested to me by Lucia, and I figured it would pair well with her being on the show herself this week. So you know what time it is.
Hey, Mark! It's time for the taste test! And now it's time for the taste test!
So I'm walking through the produce department the other day, and I get stopped by Lucia, one of our employees. And if you aren't familiar with her, you can get on our YouTube page and see her cutting up all kinds of international produce and teaching you how to do things properly, and hopefully teaching me how to do things properly. But she tells me about this new product we've got in, and it's this brand here, K-Easy, the Lucky Coconut. It makes it really easy for you to enjoy. It looks kind of like what I would call an international Capri Sun for those of you who are not particularly adventurous. But it looks fun. So let's see here. I'm going to peel it open. According to this coconut, its favorite place in the world is right next to me. Thanks, Coconut. This is pretty cool. It looks... It's so to describe it, it's like they've shaved the exterior of the coconut. I'm very curious how to break into this. I don't know how much of this is just me banging the coconut against the counter as I try to shove this little plastic straw in. It's very funny. It's got like a little... Oh, cool. So inside the packaging, there's like... It almost looks like a little golf tee, but I'm assuming it's used to poke a hole in the coconut, which is great. And it's compostable, meaning you can put this in your compost pile if you're cool. I am not cool. I don't have a compost pile. I've just got a regular pile outside of clothing. Who has time to do the wash? That's what the rain's for. Okay, got it unwrapped. This looks very easy. So there's instructions on the side of the packaging too. So it's all right. First peel and then press. So we're gonna take this little nail. Here's just so for the visual audience, you can see the little nail here. We're going to poke that in. It says there should be an X, but there's not an X, but there's very clearly a divot for this. So let's see what we got. You ready? I'll poke it in here. Oh, yeah. That did not anticipate that. Okay, here we go. So I've never tried fresh coconut juice, water, milk. What would this be considered? Somebody answer that properly. Put the straw in. Oh, man. That's delicious. Definitely has milk vibes, so I'm going to go coconut milk in my answer from before, even though I'm no expert. I'm trying to become the expert. Oh, that's delicious. It's got a little coconut flavor, obviously. Not as strong as I anticipated. I thought it would be like coconut in your face very aggressively. It's not. It's just sort of milky. There's almost, this is going to sound like a weird thing to mention, but there's almost like a... oatmeal cookie flavor to it. I think it's really delicious. So these are now available in our produce section. If you go over by the International Produce, right where it says, you can see the big sign that says International Market, at least in Fairfield. I know we'll have it at Eastgate too. I would tell you to totally check one of these out. That was super easy to bust it. All of us have always wanted to crack into a coconut and drink out of it. And now you have your chance thanks to Jungle Gems. It's easy. It's simple. It's delicious. Lucia, thank you so much for telling me to try this. I'm really happy about it. Yeah, I always love that there's this like, hey, Mark, you should try this on the show. It's always fun. I'm like, is this a sales pitch? For me, it's not. I just want to try delicious things. So thank you, Lucia. I appreciate it. This is really, really, really good. I know I just said it, but it was damn delicious. Highly recommended that you give those a try. I seriously was not kidding when I said I've always wanted to crack into a coconut and drink it. So glad we could make that dream come true. I'm just checking boxes off on the old bucket list. Now, I mentioned that I wanted to do some Lunar New Year coverage, but I thought I'd start by letting you all know briefly what that is. You know, set up the clip, as they used to say. So, Lunar New Year is an annual New Year celebration that is observed in China, Korea, Vietnam, Laos, Singapore, and many other countries. Lunar New Year is celebrated all over the world, and it's called many different things. Now, each country may have slightly different practices, but no matter where you live, the holiday is a time to return to your roots, eat traditional foods, and spend time with your family. Now, armed with that knowledge, I invited some of our international team in to give me their personal perspective on the holiday. So, in order of appearance, meet Moni and Lucia, and welcome back, Jim. So we're talking Lunar New Year today. Okay, first off, I see you guys have brought me a couple of things. What do we have here on the table that I'm looking at so I can try to describe for the audience?
This one is called the Dancing Lion. That is, you can put batter in there. It's like, the traditional Lunar New Year in every commercial business, they have a twin dancing, playing in front of their door, and that's similar to that. It's the same thing, but it's
smaller,
electronic.
right?
Correct.
That's awesome. No, I love it.
And there's some lanterns decoration.
Okay.
And door decoration. Also we have a few with the red envelopes.
Okay.
You should talk about the envelopes. We go through hundreds and hundreds of those.
Yeah. And those, let me see, have the Zodiac book.
Oh yeah, get that.
Is that over here?
Right here.
Yeah, that's the Zodiac book over there.
Yeah. It's a coloring book too, so I can be artistic with it. That's awesome. So let me back up. What's the tradition behind the envelopes?
Envelopes for during the Spring Festival, the Lunar New Year. Usually it's the first day or the second day. During the first day to first few days, we have a family visit.
Okay.
You visit relatives, usually elderly people, to give younger or used one kids, married one to give the single one for give us some money, put in the red envelope. That's good luck for next year's perspective.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Yeah, and
I like this already.
Better. You girls never gave me any envelopes.
Well, you are the
in all
older
these
than
years,
us.
you've never given me a single
No, actually,
envelope.
you're older than us.
Should be
You
the
should
one
give
give
us.
us. Yes.
Oh, because I'm older.
Every year, yes.
because you are older and you are.
Yeah,
our boss.
but I'm Polish.
You are our boss.
so- Why would a Polak give you girls
in
an
Chinese
envelope? Give you a
company,
pierogi.
They also have the boss, the company. They also the higher positions one give it the lower positions.
Oh,
cool.
See, you are the one should give
just
us.
because I'm
So
older.
if you
huh?
give it to us, then you can ask Jungle give it back to you.
Yeah.
Sounds a little bit like age discrimination to me, Mark.
It's respect for elders, Jim.
guess.
Yeah.
That's why we treat you with so much respect
No,
here.
in my countries, it's actually Vietnam. So we do like the red envelope just for lucky. Sometimes people were using like a different number, like the end, all the number plus together will come the 8. So it means the money will come more and more in a year, just like lucky. Like the first day of the year, we don't do anything. We just eat and play card and receive the envelope. So yeah, that's.
I was going to ask, it is a multi-week long celebration,
Oh,
is
yeah.
that correct?
Oh yeah.
Couple weeks. Yes.
Wow.
Like
okay.
the period's 10 days before the Lunar New Year. That's called whipping your house, cleaning dust, and
So brooms just
Yeah.
fly off the
we
floor,
sell
off
room,
the shelf.
like special Vietnamese room for people to take home and for the gift. Kind of weird.
No, that's cool.
No, it's like in my luggage. The first time I come to America, I brought my 2 room with me, and a lot of Vietnamese just look at me weird way, like, "What you do with that?" I say, "This is my mother and my father-in-law like it, so I bring it like a gift."
Yeah.
You know, I've got a ton of the industrial plants around here that come in here to buy those brooms because
Really?
they say they sweep better than anything they can
Yeah.
buy.
Yeah.
I
It didn't
just
leave the hairs. or
yeah, they get
something.
everything.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
you got
well, I
everything.
actually could use one of those. I have a
And
little-
it's really light, so that you can hang
Yeah.
on the door,
Oh, okay.
close it, so it's in the corner of your house. It's not noisy like a vacuum.
Sure.
So dust paint the best.
I love that it's like this sort of not just a spiritual cleansing and reset for the new year, but obviously a physical aspect to it in that you're actually cleaning and removing
Oh, yeah.
that space to
Yeah.
kind of reset. That's, going into this, I was curious because I was thinking about how we just had, the American New Year, which was just,
1 day or 2
yeah,
days.
if that, right? It feels like you're just like, oh, all right, well, we stay up late one night and then tomorrow we're off work.
So
Get drunk and watch
Yeah.
football.
Right,
a
exactly.
tip is when you're traveling, never pick Lunar New Year to go because the city will be dead. Everyone go back their hometown.
Sure.
And the traffic before that is terrible, like traffic jam everywhere because everyone want to move back their hometown for at
Makes
least
sense.
10 to 15 days. So, like, we clean 10 days. Then the first day of the year, we don't do anything, even whip the floor. And especially, you don't whip out the door. You whip in the door, like inside. So
Interesting.
yeah, like say you don't want your luck to go away.
I was
you
just
know.
going to ask you why that was okay.
Yeah. And then you don't your money to go away. That's kind of like keep everything inside. And then the second day you do whatever you want, but the first day people believe it. And it's kind of fun.
That's so much fun. Yeah. I love learning about different cultural traditions because I feel like, I think about like American traditions and we've kind of just picked small aspects from other cultures, but I feel like we missed all the cool stuff. As silly as that sounds. But, there's not too many opportunities. It's rare that you'll have that kind of a conversation, I think, with an American who's like, no, we want to kind of, bring this goodwill and good fortune into the house and keep it here. And there's some sort of like ritual aspect to it. I think that's so fascinating. What are some of, Moni, what are some of your favorite traditions about the holiday?
Well, for kids, when we're kids, we love to play fireworks. Fireworks is the first thing. And also, wearing the new clothes. Similarly, people like to wear a red, bright color for the New Year, for the better luck and respective. Also, red envelopes. Kids would love to. More money,
Right.
More red envelopes.
Me too.
Yeah, and food.
I'm glad Jim's older than us, so he can give us
money. I got it.
Some
I caught
food
that.
and also playing the games. Yeah, we will have family. We just like there's also first day we stay in playing games and watch the the gala. Got the big gala every New Year Eve in
awesome.
China. Yes,
Yeah.
everybody watch it, and then after New Year Eve, family reunion dinner.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the start like at 8 p.m. Everybody pretty much sit in front of the TV together and have a snack, fruit, all play on the table.
Oh, I love it.
Family in the chat and watching TV, kids playing the fireworks outside. There's a lot of fun in that kind of atmosphere. Yeah.
No,
Kids love to play different kind of fireworks, scare, especially boys like to, play those loud one, jump everywhere. And
Damn
we
boys.
also have
Damn
the
boys.
that's right.
midnight fireworks, the long one. There's a big, really long one, start midnight because that's the time clock for the New Year.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
that's really
just-
interesting.
Yeah, it's just like the older years. Bad luck was from the last year would be just like Lucia said, sweep away the old luck or bad luck, and then we welcome the New Year.
Yeah.
First the New Year and the newer luck and better luck.
That sounds good to me. I'm on board for
Yeah,
this.
so the midnight would be all fireworks noise. Blah, 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 everywhere. Yeah.
The animals love it, I'm sure. I was going to ask, are there certain, you mentioned some of the foods and snacks, are there certain foods?
Dishes? Yes.
Yeah.
Fish is the must. Fish, because it has this meaning of a surplus. In Chinese, it's called a 年年有余, means you have a lot more to keep and to contain for your next year, and you get more fortune, or you have a better luck on your job or business. There's fish, just the one must, and the dumplings.
Okay.
And dumplings is kind of like the old gold in North.
Okay.
In old dynasty.
Yeah.
There's the corn money or the
Like almost like the coin bag.
right.
Okay.
And that's also like a symbol of fortune.
Yeah.
And also the rice cake.
Oh, okay.
They call it 年糕. Is direct translation is called like a higher year. So it's
Okay.
means better luck. Also means the next year will be higher for whatever you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And in Vietnam, we have every single family support to have like pork belly,
Okay.
cooked with like duck egg. So we will sell ton of duck egg in Lunar New Year and pork belly too. Like they just run in and call me like, "Hey Lucia, can you check for me if your pork belly out yet?" They will run in and wrap one. Just like
I love it.
every single one family will have that dish. They're cooking because as the longer you cook them, the longer they sit day by day. The flavor will be sucked into the pork and in the egg. It tastes so good. So with that dish, you can eat with noodle, you can eat with rice, or you can roll that's like a spring roll, but like fresh.
Okay.
With vegetable, meat, and noodle, and then eat the New Year. And pickle, leek pickle, like It's family of garlic and onion,
Yeah.
a little white in a
Right.
jar. We sell it international. And some people, they were making their own pickle, like gai joy,
Oh, yeah.
a family of like mustard.
Okay.
So they pickle them and then eat in the New Year day also. Yeah, and then beside it, on the snack like sweet stuff like lotus seed or peanut candy or like a watermelon seed, like they can buy and play in car. Yeah.
Interesting. I'm so curious about all of this now too, and I'm like, and that way. I mean, you said pork belly enough
We can
times to
cook one
really
day
get me
here,
excited.
you know.
I would love that. If you'd be interested in that, that is something I'd like to do as part of this whole. With the show, I want to not only learn myself, but I'm hoping I can get other people interested. Jim and I have talked about this a bunch. That we're hoping that we can just get other people interested in different cultures and different food and recipes. So if you're ever down to make something on this, I would love to do that. And it's a little selfish. I mean, I'm going to learn it for me. But
You're just hungry.
I'm always hungry, Jim. Is there, on the pickling side of things, is there any reason that became a tradition, or is that?
It's more like we eat more vegetable.
Okay.
And in the market, they will close for 10 days after Lunar New Year. Like they close.
Right.
Nothing open.
Sure.
So it's just amazing. You don't have any vegetable cannot last that long.
Right.
I believe that the reason they pickle a lot, so the vegetable can last longer.
That makes perfect
and
sense.
you have vegetable with your food. We eat ton of vegetable every single day. We don't just like eat pickle or lettuce or tomato. We eat ton of different vegetable. Yai joy.
No hamburgers.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mark.
No, just it's really difficult for me at first when I eat American food. Just
I'm sure.
like I have to picking and see how many vegetable I can get. Usually I kind of have a burger, extra pickle, extra lettuce.
Yeah.
But it's not enough.
It is interesting to see how, and that's something maybe I'll explore at some point, but I do find it interesting that American cuisine, is very focused on meat and cheese, I feel like, and then everything else is just, that's also there, and not as important. Interesting. I see you looking excited, Moni. You have notes too. I'm so happy about this.
Because there's a lot of different traditions. Different regions have their own customs, traditions too.
Sure.
So, because Lunar New Year not only celebrate in China or Vietnam, also in some other Asian country like Korea also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Japan,
not really Lunar New Year.
they got special tradition
Yeah.
because I work in the hotel and actually the owner from Japan, they do some different way to celebrate this, but they do celebrate also.
Interesting. Do the other countries also shut down as
Singapore,
Okay.
Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia.
Laos, Cambodia.
South Korea is what I read. They
are
involved.
They are involved.
Wow.
Yes. Their custom traditions also similarities very close.
Are there any big differences that you found in some of the traditions?
Not a big difference. Is pretty.
They call different names.
Yeah,
Okay.
just
Like
different.
Lunar New Year, Chinese New Year, and Tet. In Vietnam, they call Tet, T-E-T. And different country, they have the special name, but most of them it's celebrate. Lunar New Year is like kind of, we use not your calendar, like American calendar.
Sure.
We use like follow the moon circle.
Okay.
And it's called lunar. Lunar means moon, so that's
Right.
easy to explain it. And every year will be turned exactly like we use the same calendar, like we call under calendar. It's like usually they have the little number under the regular calendar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and also the same day, like Chinese and Vietnamese, we use the same kind of calendar.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Makes sense though too. I mean, and honestly, it seems to harken back to the focus on the harvest and the food and all of that stuff. I was researching a little bit last September when I first started about the Moon Harvest Festival,
Right.
and that was sort of what planted the seed that I was like, okay, I really need to like learn more about all of this.
Yeah.
Do we find? I feel like in the States, I've always heard, and until the last year or two, I'd only heard it referred to as Chinese New Year. So I think speaks to, how shall I say, Americans are not good at learning.
You're right. That's an American phraseology.
Yeah,
Right, exactly.
Just like
Because it influenced by Chinese New Year and the Chinese calendar. That's why it got most influenced by, and that's what most people know about.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that makes
but
sense.
Also, like when I meet a lot of other Asian country also celebrates too. That's what makes it such a big deal. In Asian country, we have a lot of big show, gala, and a lot of food, stuff to celebrate.
Yeah, it sounds incredible.
Different ways and different custom, and yeah, that's the big things in Asian countries.
and especially usually in my country or maybe different country of China, we don't call Chinese New Year because we in your individual country and we have our own name to call the New Year too, but we call Lunar New Year because kind of like universal.
Right.
The word for universal, not it's like specific for Chinese people or Vietnamese or Taiwanese or whatever. That means celebrate calendar, the moon calendar.
Right. And so, I was going to
And
double
feel
check.
included, and you don't exclude of a certain people. Like maybe a lot of people come to me and just like speak Chinese to me, and then I say I'm not speak Chinese, I speak Vietnamese. So
Right.
they, where you from? So that may be the first word you should ask people. Hey, where you come from?
Right. Yeah.
Because we look the same, we look similar,
Sure.
black hair, brown eye,
Right.
and we speak different language.
Yeah.
Vietnamese don't speak Chinese, but some people they can speak bilingual.
Okay.
So we use a lot of different culture also.
Yeah.
But similar. We really similar food and taste and things celebrate, but we have our own things.
That's so interesting too, and it makes perfect sense. And I feel like I think about the way the United States are like physically together, and the way that like Europe and Asia and everything is also kind of, it's sort of similar in that, here we go from state to state and nothing really changes. But if you do pay attention, there's very subtle changes. But it makes a ton of sense that there would be a lot of shared customs. I'm just learning as we go. So I think that's so fascinating. And again, audience, if you're listening, which that's all you can do right now, ask first before just making the assumption. It is a really simple way to learn. Again, this is all about learning to me. It's all educational at the end of the day,
It's Lunar New Year. That's a really big thing. It's like to talk about it, we can talk by day, because before the moment and after, we have a lot of activity and thing and food. And actually, in Jungle Gym every year, when I'm beginning work like 5-6 years ago, every year I try to do new things so customer can feel a little bit like for our old country, for Asian people, they feel remember their home. And for American people, they feel like interested, like what's going on with day to day, like flower, blooming, like feel New Year, because in here we have 4 seasons. In Asia, most of them, they just have 2. It means rain or sun. That's it.
Right.
We don't know snow. We don't know how it's cold. The tree don't know too. So if we want them to plum, we have to pick on the leaf and let them just like try to feel like winter coming in.
Yeah.
Leaf is gone and then spring come in, raining. So we water them a lot, and then they bloom after that. So spring coming. So we make that happen. And here,
so cool.
nature make it happen. So you can see blooming. It means spring come.
Sure.
So we bring a lot of flower every year to Jungle Gym and sell for people.
That's so cool. I had no idea. I mean,
This year, like every year, we bring like 2 pallets of flower. Like you can see flower everywhere, 100 of them.
No kidding.
Yeah, people will buy it's each family maybe they buy 1 or 2 to decorate their house so they can feel spring coming, not like stick everywhere outside.
Oh, that's so cool. I had no idea. Are those already starting to show up in the store, or is it going to be a little closer to the end of the month?
They coming like maybe next week Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's so fun.
Yeah,
So-
we're out the gate early, but we have to be. This promotion is going to basically run in ads and everything for like 6 weeks.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So I tried to catch the whole month of January and the first week of February because it falls on like February 2nd, the actual holiday.
Yeah.
So we busted in early. The displays are going out right now.
Yeah.
But I should mention that because of the Lunar New Year celebration, to us is a huge deal because of the amount of Asian business we've got in here.
Yeah.
So as we wind down from Christmas holidays, we roll right into the Asian holidays. It's like a second Christmas to us. I'm bringing truckloads of stuff in. I mean, it's like
so excited to
it's
see
like
it all.
Christmas all over again.
It's just like the thing is people want to stock their house. So in a new day, the first day, like I say, really important when your house full of like pantry, rice, food, and thing for money. Yeah.
Right.
And you have to pay all your debt. So you don't want a new
It's
year
a
debt.
good habit.
Yeah.
That's a great habit, actually. I'm hoping that through, and this sounds silly, maybe my goals are too lofty, but I'm hoping that through the show, I can get more American people into shifting how we treat some of our holidays. And I think it's, we are trying to still be a melting pot of culture and differences. And for me, I find this so fascinating because I feel like so many American holidays are very just, I don't know, how should I say, like window dressing, like it's just visuals and there's nothing behind it. Whereas here it's just like, I don't know, it sounds like there's a lot of family, a lot of togetherness, a lot of like, emotion and tradition behind it.
Yes.
And maybe it's because of the nature of our culture being, 200 years old really compared to thousands for the rest of the planet pretty much. But I'm just so fascinated. Lucy, I meant to ask you 20 minutes ago, what did you make on the table here today?
Yeah, it's just like flour.
Okay.
In the last 2 years, we do like called the lucky tree.
Okay.
When we give away like envelope, have a little lucky money from Jungle Gym to people.
Cool.
But this year we're not able to do this because our warehouse will turn into a big area for shopping.
Sure.
And we're not able to keep the tree anymore. So I was thinking I want to do some like the area so people can come there and feel like spring on the flower or blooming. And they can take some picture and remember, okay, this year I've been in Jungle Gym for Lunar New Year.
Yeah, it looks
And
amazing.
it's memory, Every year we'll have something different. So last year was dragon, like display with dragon. And this year maybe for flowers so people can looking for it.
I love it. And you made this all by hand, right?
Yes, probably will be 40 to 50 of them.
And so for the audience's sake, just to give you an idea, this thing is probably, 2 feet across. It is a giant paper flower. I mean, akin in size, honestly, to how I assume the size of some of the paper lanterns would be. It's big and very detailed. You did incredible work.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I'm excited to see. That's so much fun.
Yeah.
Well, we're kind of ass backwards here because you never introduced anybody. So let me go ahead and do that.
Yeah. So now I'll have to do it in the. I just
You
jumped
can-
out. I was too excited.
You can
everyone.
fix this later, but Lucia is our Vietnamese category buyer and specialist.
Okay.
She works for both produce and international. And quite honestly, she's brought in the majority of that clientele into this business over the last couple of years.
Thank you.
And Moni is doing, you have to help me here, Chinese, Malaysia, Korea.
Yes.
Way too much. And believe it or not, because see American stereotype, and you probably are going to say, oh, we've had Chinese forever. We had very little Chinese in here until I brought her in for a lot of reasons. So we have basically been bringing a lot of Chinese products in over the last couple of years and a lot of the Chinese customer base in here. So it's a relatively new growth area for both Vietnam and Chinese. So these two have done it all.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited to just keep in. I'm just trying to learn. So I'm glad I get to learn it from people who know what they're talking about.
And we love to share. So.
Yeah. Anytime. I'll open this up to both of you. If you ever have something that you come up and you're like, hey, this would be good for Mark to know, or if you want to come talk about it on the show.
I think you will close your door when you see my face in the future.
Not yet, at least, but
Not there yet. Yeah.
but no, please.
Be careful
seriously,
what you
anytime.
ask for.
I
Yeah,
know.
please.
No, I love it though. I mean, it makes for fun. This is fun content, right? And I think, look, the show is doing most of our audiences in the United States, but we do have a lot of listeners overseas. So like, there's an audience out there. So hey, I want to provide a space for international voices like yourselves. And the thing is, I'm not going to learn without your help. So whatever you want to teach me or teach the public, I want to help with that too. So come by anytime you've got time. I'm always available to you, truly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Super.
Until I start locking the door on Lucia. So.
Yeah.
The good news is the door doesn't lock from the inside. So
Really?
Yeah, it's all for show.
That's a good news.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Was there anything I didn't ask or bring up that you think would be worth mentioning before I...
Well, I can mention about some taboo things.
Oh, that's a great
okay.
idea.
Cool.
Okay, let me set you up for that.
Taboo things on
Yeah.
on New Year Day, no porridge because you bring poverty.
Makes sense. Okay, like
Uh-huh.
yeah.
So
No
I can't
hair
have my
wash.
cream of wheat.
Yeah, no porridge on the second.
Yeah. No hair washing. You wash your way. Good luck.
Oh, okay.
On the New Year Day. That's for.
It
but
means
New
you
Year
have
Eve
to
day,
do
you can-
everything before.
Before.
Okay.
The New Year Eve day, you can do all this.
Okay.
Like clean yourself up.
Like
the
even
new-
when I'm
new-
little, I still remember it's funny story. It's been before the lunar coming in. It's before midnight. So my grandma or my mom or my uncle would say, "You better don't do anything bad. I don't want to yelling at you because that will be happen all year long." So I said, "Oh my God, I have to be a good kid." So we just like quiet, do right thing, playing car, eating well. Yeah, that's all the kid will believe that tale.
That's good. That's a good way. Keep us in line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, no needlework because it depletes the wealth.
Oh, interesting.
No unlock words just means no cars, no bad words.
Okay.
Yeah.
And no spend money.
No clothes washing.
Okay.
No sweeping. Like she said the first day or something. No sweeping because you don't want to sweep the good luck.
Okay. And it's just that one day that we don't do
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
right?
first
It's
Then
like,
after
okay.
that,
Then
it's
whatever.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no crying.
Okay. No promises.
Yeah.
No breaking dishes. No scissors. No knife.
Huh. Okay. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
So that's
Because
why
they're
all
like
the
a
food
cup,
you have to
yeah.
repair the day before.
that makes perfect sense.
On the first day, everyone don't have to do anything. Just sit and talk to each other and eat and nap and play in car games.
I like this holiday.
Yeah. That sounds amazing.
This part, no crying, no breaking dishes, scissors. This is for the
That's
spring
my favorite part.
season taboos. Not the New Year Day. This is for the whole season.
Oh,
taboos.
okay.
And there's no lending, borrowing, money,
Okay.
and no killing. Of course, about those like
Yeah. I feel like.
no kill the
Chicken,
chickens
no
to make
killing.
food. Yeah.
Oh
No
God.
killing.
I was like, oh, all right, I'll save my murders for next year.
Oh, those about those like
Makes
some
me
Asian-
remember my mom who used to throw plates at my dad all the time.
They do those like they made their own. They have the raise the chickens, the
Right,
pig. That
right.
means those.
No goat.
Okay.
You can't
Yeah.
kill your
In
goat.
that case,
Yeah.
my murders are back on.
No black or white clothes because
Oh.
they are unlocking them
Whoa.
colors.
Color, yes.
In Asian
Oh, I didn't
countries.
realize that.
Yeah.
That's like most of my wardrobe. Maybe you've just explained why I've had bad luck.
No odd amount money and the lucky money. Just like when you put the red money in the red envelope
Mm-hmm.
to give away, no odd money. No like a 4. Number 4 is
Okay.
bad luck.
You always have the,
Interesting.
Like
in my country, they believe the little number will give you more. It means you want to make it even.
Okay.
You don't want to give the even number.
Oh, okay. I think I
Always have the
yeah.
little money aside, so
Like-
you always want to make it more to feel it full.
in China, number 6, number 8 means good luck.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said 4 was bad luck, right?
Bad 4 is bad luck.
Okay.
4
Wow.
in Chinese means death.
Oh, jeez.
Pronunciation sounds the same.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people don't want the number of number 4. Just like here, number 13 is our number.
Right.
You don't want number 13 here.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
It's so interesting how that's developed across cultures too, is that we all have like fears
We have
of certain numbers.
Yes, just certain number you don't want it.
Right.
And also no hospital visits, because hospital is not a good place to visit.
Yeah, right.
For the New Year, whatever. Any day.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's pretty much the taboos.
All right, so I think
very
I can
interesting.
stay. I think I can stay away from most of those. I think I'll do pretty good at it. I'm going to try and observe most of this year and see what I can do. So if it works out good, you'll know next year. So.
Good, that's good.
And
Good
don't forget to
know.
check out the display of Lunar New Year coming in next week.
Sounds good. Yeah, and depending on this will probably air by the time it comes in. So.
Yeah, and your discovery is up. It's not quite done, but it's up in the
Oh, that's
discovery
right.
section.
And I can't believe we glossed over that entirely. Want to give a quick spiel on that, Jim?
Yeah, well, we're early, but I've got the discovery section set up, and it's a Lunar New Year theme based on upcoming ads and different Lunar New Year items that we're
Cool.
featuring. So it's built and ready to shop.
I meant to ask you beforehand. I know we talked about the lion, the panda bear. You were saying that you got a bunch of those in and they're gone already. What's in there?
I put a pallet of banks out. They're like jelly candies, and
Oh, because
Banks.
jelly candies and it's a bank.
Yeah.
and they're flying. We got another pallet coming in
Yeah.
later this week.
Is this like something traditional or
Not really
just
traditional.
fun?
No, that's
but
just
it's
easy
cute,
to
yeah.
keep like it, you know.
Cool.
It's multi-function. You can eat the candy inside, and then you can use that
Yeah.
for,
Perfect.
bank.
I've got collectors that as soon as I get a new one in, they come and buy several of them. So there's people.
It's
with
very
collections.
cute. I mean, I'm on board.
I have it collected too.
Do you collect them?
I
Yeah.
put on the on my kitchen the top cabinet. On the top of that, we can put like different animals.
You'll see these in a lot of the
I
Asian
cannot,
restaurants will have them in them.
collect this because my kid will eat it all. So.
Just keep it in the bank. Yeah, I eat those jellies too.
You know, I
Those
take them
really
home.
good.
My kids usually shake the candy out into the garbage and just keep the bank.
For kids today. I'll eat their candy, Jim. You send it to me. I loved that. For real. I seriously hope through the exploration of culture that we'll all learn how to better appreciate our lives. Maybe that sounds trite. I don't mean it. I mean it very genuinely. You know, sometimes the way that we do things in the U.S. is a little too fast-paced, I think would probably be a good way to put it. You know, in my opinion, at least. I sometimes worry that we don't have enough appreciation for what we have or appreciation for the things that we should focus on or, you know, again, at the very least, what I think we should be focusing on. And I really loved hearing about the differences between how they celebrate the New Year versus how we do, which is, you know, like an 8-hour hangover. It's not much of a holiday at all, right? There's sort of this perfunctory nature to the way we really do treat a lot of the U.S. holidays. I know I mentioned it in the actual interview segment too, but I think it bears repeating, you know? And I'm hoping that all of us will hear these things and maybe have a similar reaction to it that I did, which is go, oh, maybe we should introduce a few of these little specifics to our own celebrations. I mean, I'm into that. Realistically, I'm sure all of us could get behind being off work for 2 weeks as of the new year, right? All right, put it in writing. Well, everyone. That's another episode in the bag. Oh, let me just put this out there. What do you all want to hear about on this show, huh? If you have any thoughts or suggestions, requests, you name it, shoot me a line at podcast@junglegyms.com. If you want to talk, that is. Now, coming up, I do have some things planned. We're going to be hearing from one of my favorite coworkers, and he's conveniently the 2-time recipient of the Golden Penguin Award. That's a real award. We'll be diving into some more beer chats with the crew at 50 West. I've got a little coverage for the Jungle Gyms wine walkabout that happened recently, and I'm really excited about this one. It looks like we're going to do a hot pot episode for Lunar New Year. And if you don't know what that means, oh my gosh, Google it right now and you'll be at least visually prepared. And guess what? We're going to shoot a video of that too. So maybe in the meantime, you should go subscribe to Jungle Gyms on YouTube so you can see updated videos when we put those out. And I also, you know, I release the show on YouTube as well if you like to put it on the background that way. So, all right, everyone. Until then, I'll see you out in the aisles. The Jungle Gyms podcast is recorded in the WJJI studio inside Jungle Gyms International Market in Fairfield, Ohio. The Jungle Gyms podcast is produced and hosted by Mark Borison.